everybody, and welcome back to Real Horror. This is a show where we discuss the horror movie of the week every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And tonight we are discussing the Crazies, both the 1973 and the 2010 movies. We're going to be comparing them and reviewing them. And tonight with me is Vinny Art. How you doing tonight, Vinny?
Hello. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to talking about these. I really love the 2010 movie, and I had not seen the 1973 one until we talked about doing these reviews. So, yeah, it was interesting to see both of them like that back to back. Um,
Yeah, yeah. These are great movies. I'm really I'm looking forward to digging into them.
Absolutely.
And in the comments right now we have Solo Warden first. Thank you for being here.
Nice.
Um, Tommy stopped by, leaving his paw prints, and Mr. Pulp Noir. Thank you all for being here. And anybody catching this on the replay, I appreciate you as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so the Crazies, 1973. So these both are done by George Romero.
Yep.
And yeah, so yeah, we'll start with 1973 since that's the original.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so in the very beginning, what I really liked about um, oh, Tommy said he hated these movies. All right. Yeah, I really liked them. I thought
Hmm.
1973 was extremely relevant. It
Yeah.
was, it's a 70s movie, so it's a little harder to get through. And it's not as polished and stuff, but I really appreciate the content of it. But
I do too, but yeah, it definitely had its problems.
yeah,
Yeah, from the casting and the weird choice in the um, military, like they kept doing the drumming
yeah,
all throughout the entire movie. I felt like I was going crazy by like the middle of it.
yeah. Um, Draven stopped by. Hey, Draven. Um, Tommy's saying I didn't hate him. I suggested him. Okay. Oh, Draven, I did check your DMs. Um yeah. Okay, so yeah, I love how the Crazies 1973 opens.
Hmm.
It's so it's kind of it's a little bit subtle, but the first thing you hear is the cuckoo clock. It's going cuckoo cuckoo, and
Right.
I just thought that was so like just I don't know, it's just cool to me. I like how they put that in there. And yeah, we see the kids playing in the house, and well, it's kind of yeah, I guess they are playing. The little kid is picking on his little sister and
Hmm.
stuff. But then you see a guy destroying the house, and this was an interesting scene because the like the girl is like, "Come on, Billy, go back to bed." Billy, that's your little brother. "Come on,
Hmm.
Billy, go back to bed." Um, I think you're just trying to scare me and stuff. Um, and he's kind of like giggling and being weird. So, like, if you don't know what this movie is going into it, um, I'm thinking that it's like kids are going crazy and stuff. Like, I had no idea what this was gonna turn into this movie. But oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what the original was going to be either, to be
Yeah,
honest. Because like I know what the 2010 movie was, but this one I'm like, well, it's George Romero. Is he going to go full zombie? Like what was the? I didn't even look at a trailer. I just all right. You told me where the link was. I clicked it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to watch it with fresh eyes. So I I want to say I was disappointed in a way. Again, like you said, the 70s movies they're a little bit harder to get through.
Hmm.
that type of movie, because like the blood effects were really bad.
Yeah, the effects were bad.
There's certain things that were just like it's like cringe. The lead actor, like I do not understand why they had this guy with a unibrow as your lead. Like he
Well,
wasn't a bad actor, but that look was so bizarre.
well, things were bushier in the 70s.
Well, obviously, but
Bad Take Potion is in the chat. Nice to see you, Tina.
hey Tina.
um,
But
yeah,
and the acting was bizarre with a lot of them.
yeah, it was definitely it was definitely not a polished movie, shall we say.
Mhm.
But the yeah, the I would definitely not say that, oh, I love this movie because the acting is fantastic. Um I just love the movie because of the content of it. It's just so, oh man, so relevant.
Yeah. Oh my God, was it?
Yeah, it's
Hold on,
like, yeah, just
I
the
was
way
sending
that,
Draven. I'm sending him the link.
oh yeah, I actually
There we
sent him
Okay.
I think, did it go through? Let me see.
I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
I forgot to hit enter.
I sent it. I sent it. So no worries.
Oh my god, Draven, I'm so sorry.
She did it on purpose. She heard you enjoy people who are have an issue with their chromosomes and all. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, there he is. Hey,
Hey, hey,
Draven.
what's up?
Hey.
And hello, Zax. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you.
I noticed the unibrow too, and I was like, I was a little like, what the hell?
But correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like a good chunk of those actors, like it felt like, or like the nurse, she didn't have anything that you want to connect with. I mean, yeah, she was hot. Yeah, that scene in the beginning, but she seemed like, I don't know, like wallpaper, like very
Yeah.
blah about her. Like,
yeah, they like mentioned that she was pregnant, and then there's like the scene with them in bed in the beginning, and then that was pretty much it. There's not really any like character development or anything.
Yeah, none of that. In the 2010, there was plenty of character development. They showed that she was she was more of a doctor than a nurse, right? For the town, but like even changing the role just a little bit, it wasn't like a girl power thing either, nothing like that. It made sense for the story. She was a good doctor who cared about the people in the town. It's a small community, so her practice, like everything made sense. The husband being the sheriff. But like her reactions to the people and what had happened, and I mean, we'll get into that part, when we talk about that movie. But you could see there was more there. Yeah. The acting was better, and the character development was 100% there.
Even the main character, like the guy, what is he from Vietnam or whatever?
The fireman
in the original. Yeah, the fireman.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really develop him very much either. Even even his like buddy.
Yeah, the 1973 version, it definitely is. I can see why Romero wanted to do a remake, because the acting is very flat. There's absolutely no character development. There's really no chemistry, even though there is a couple. It's like they're just kind of. It's like they just put together in a movie. It's not like a. And they feel.
It also kind of focused more on the military side of it than it did the people going through it.
Yes, and actually, that is one of the things I really appreciate about the first movie. But I wanted to say hi to a couple of people that stopped by. Soul Assassin, and who else was it? Oh, and Tina says to stop bullying Draven.
Goddamn.
She's fighting for you.
That's good. She is a four horsewoman for a reason.
That's right. She's
and Tom.
Don't worry, Tina. I insulted all of us the other night on a stream. I said there's a reason why he likes those type of people. I said because he hangs out with us all the time.
Yeah. And Tommy says that the first one felt like a better build-up than the remake, and I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I think that these two movies kind of complement each other because if you take the first one, it really gives the backstory of Trixie and everything of like how it all happened. In the second movie, you kind of are expected to already know that in a way because you don't really find out until much like I think maybe almost a halfway through the movie.
Well, I got a question for you.
To,
Did you see these for the first time for the review, or have you seen either one of them beforehand?
I saw the remake a while ago.
Okay.
And
Yeah, same.
Because the remake, that's when I seen first again when it came out, and I loved it so much. You know, got the Blu-ray and everything. I think I don't know because I didn't even know about the original when I saw them
I didn't either.
Same.
I want to say is like I think that it did make sense for what it was. I didn't see the like the Trixie aspect. I like that they held it. I like that they held it for later in the movie, and then you kind of find out.
I like the little slow reveal of it. And you could even because they take place in two different places. You could even say if you wanted to that this is kind of like a sequel to the first one as well.
Another town.
Because at the end of the first the original, he like gets helicoptered out to go to another place. So you know.
The scientific dude. But because that's the thing I was going to say too regarding all that. It's like you said. So the first one, they went kind of right into Trixie right away. This one, it was more of like, what the hell's going on with this town? You know, like, but that's what I liked, especially with the title of the movie, The Crazies. It's like these people are just acting crazy out of nowhere. You know, the first one that you see on the baseball field. You know, the other guy who was he, the preacher, I think, who was just like zoning out when the sheriff went back to the baseball field, and he just kind of like, why did he do that? Why did Roy do that? And then like you saw him sitting on the bleachers, like the pastor dude, and he's like, "Yo, you there? Hello, hello!" And like, he kept yelling at him, and the guy was he was not there, you know. And then later, you find out that the water was actually in the water supply. That that's like, well, whose house who's first that would be getting that water? It was Roy, and then it was the pastor. Like, it made sense of how it was flowing through the town, you know. So I enjoyed that. And then later, when they do have the reveal, and it was a plane that was into the water, like I thought that was fantastic.
Same.
You know?
Yeah, there's definitely. I just want to say hi to Frankie Nose. Thank you for being here. I say catch the old version. I think that you learn a lot about Trixie, and you really get to see the kind of the bad things that the military and scientists do. You don't see that in the remake. And Tommy says that the remake was more of an action movie, and I agree with that. That's the way I felt too.
That was definitely there. That aspect was there, but I thought the pacing was well done because it wasn't it wasn't all over, and I like that they had them changing more. Like you could see that it was heading into like zombie territory. You know, it wasn't exactly, but it was headed in that direction in a lot of aspects. You know.
Yeah. No, there wasn't. They didn't even talk about a cure in the remake. I agree. The remake, they kind of went with zombies, and I was a little disappointed in that because I liked the original where it was more of like a kind of a mind virus. And it just made people kind of like go mad and like.
I did feel that was definitely there because none of them were reanimated.
No, but
the ones the ones who did get sick and whatever, like when they got shot dead, boom, they're dead. Like, it didn't have to be a brain trauma, whatever. It was like in the heart or in the chest or whatever, and they stayed down. But it was doing bad shit because if you look at any type of thing in real life, that is along those levels, like, you know, you have like certain types of malaria and things of that nature that very grotesque things happen to the body because it's destroying the cells and whatnot. So to me, it made sense what was going on, that they were progressively getting worse. But I'm just saying, because George Romero, I mean, I wonder if they would have done that. If there was a sequel, would they have gone in that direction? Or would they have kept it just like, you know, like this bioweapon thing that did that to the village and the town and everything?
Well, they were pretty clear on in the original that the way that this virus works once it gets into your brain is that you either die after a certain amount of time. I can't remember, what was it, 3 days or 2 days or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, or you go mad and that's it. So,
well, didn't they also say either you go mad or you and there's like steps of that where like you'll like be mad and then like you'll like snap out of it and snap back in and out of it at some points too.
Yeah, because some of the characters kind of did that.
Yeah, because that the guy that burned the house down in the original, he like was all crazy and stuff, but then when he's in the back of the thing, he's like realizes what he did.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah. So it's a little bit kind of. See, I think that's another reason why there was a remake. Is there's a lot that. There's some things in the original that kind of don't add up, you know, because they referred to it both as a bacteria and a virus. So that kind of had me confused. And then the military says, no, it was a what did they say? I think they said it was a virus and a biological weapon. So yeah, so there's a little bit of like kind of inconsistency there. And then they also say that it's the way that it's transmitted was a little bit confusing too in the first movie, because they were saying, well, it's, you know, it gets in the water and, you know, it went from the rhesus monkey to humans, but doesn't go to other animals. But then they were saying that it's also airborne, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I just don't know. I just kind of was a little bit confused by that.
I know in the 2010 one, at a certain point, the doctor does say that she assumes that there was nothing that was really concrete, but she goes, it looks like it's airborne now.
Yeah.
And that has, I mean, that does happen. They mutate and they change and whatever, but you know, those viruses and type of things. But I don't think they ever confused it in the, you know, in the 2010 one, calling it both a bacteria and a virus.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it could only be one. It can't be both.
Yeah. In the second one, they were it was definitely a virus. They did talk about how it was in the water in the first one. Oh yeah, and also like Tommy brings up the placebo they gave in the first one. Yeah, they gave antibiotic injections, and yet it's a virus. So it's like that doesn't work.
You're wrong.
And so, but
and then there's all, I don't know if it was a cameo or not, but it looked like the girl with her father that was traveling with the two firefighters, and that ends up going crazy or whatever. The girl on the bike in the new one, I'm not sure if it was the same person, but it looked a lot like her. Like pops out of nowhere and then drives down the street.
Yes, I liked that part. That was cool because it just, that kind of like harkened back to the original, how it was kind of like weird and creepy at the same time. So yeah, I liked that. And like
the older woman, you mean the one that was on the bicycle? That
Yeah, in the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, before he went to
I'm
the.
not sure if that's the girl that was with the father that got graped or whatever.
I don't
From
know.
the first one or not, but it looked kind of like her.
She
No,
would be
they took-
much older.
Was she?
Yeah, and they took her out. Remember? She didn't
Well,
make it.
well, no, like I think DeRaven, do you mean like reuse the actor?
Yeah, reuse the actor
Yeah.
as a cameo or like a
Yeah.
a nod to the original.
Yeah.
Oh, that was possible. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that would be cool if they did that. I could see them doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me think. Yeah, so the first one, the reason why I kind of lean towards it is it has a lot of the science in it, which I appreciated. Like that Dr. Watts, and he's like he's one of the like OGs on Trixie, and so he's like working on
They were too obvious though. As soon as I saw the character how he was behaving, I'm like, oh, he's gonna get mistaken. Because that's what his fate. The one with the beard, his fate ultimately.
Oh yeah,
I'm not crazy. He was yelling at everybody every 2 seconds. Then he goes super calm. Then he'd snap at everybody again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was like wait a minute, you're one of the people responsible for this thing.
Yeah.
But it was actually scientists and the military. They're both at fault for this.
Oh, for sure.
Soul Assassin asks, was the second film with the crashed military plane in the lake? Yes.
Yeah. And again, I thought that was really cool because it was like first it was kind of that mystery too. Like you see the one pilot in the trees, like his parachute, and then the hunters that they found. They found the body, and the one guy started vomiting all over the place right away.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as they flipped them over, like God knows what, and they were in that water as well.
Yep. And they talked about how that water leads to the town drinking supply.
Yep.
Yeah, the bomb. We are definitely going to get into that.
That was so Resident Evil.
And oh man,
I think it is the same actress.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice eye.
Lynn Lowry is her name.
Lion Ratton, thank you for being here. Good to see you.
And I believe she's in both, and she's also in Shivers as well, which is a
cool.
Romero film.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
That's cool. Good catch on that. I didn't recognize her at all. So yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, I like the science in the first movie. And they, how they're talking about how they, they developed this, and they were trying for a while to come up with an antidote, but they couldn't get anywhere with it. And then they started talking about how they need to, like, that scientist is like yelling at people saying, we need to test the people. We need to find someone who's naturally immune to it and get their blood and come up with an antidote that way. And I really like that. I think they did a good job with the science in the first movie. Other than going back and forth between virus and bacteria, that was a little wonky. But other than that, I really liked everything because I feel like that's how it would play out. With the quarantine and setting up a perimeter and rounding people up, and one of my favorite parts. Okay, so it's kind of tied together, but one of my favorite parts of the original movie was when the captain, what was the name? Captain Colonel Peckham is talking to someone. Was it him? was a guy he was talking to. I can't remember, but it was some guy saying that they need help, and oh no, it wasn't Colonel Peckham. It was the guy uh like asking for Colonel Peckham, but he's saying on the phone, like, we need help down here. Like a lot of the outlining areas have farmers and they have weapons, and you think we can contain this thing by
Oh
ourselves?
yeah.
And I just loved that part so
Yeah.
much. And then later on, they're rounding people up, and there was husband and wife, and I think they had kids too and everything.
Mhm.
And they're rounding them up, and the husband goes to the gun cabinet.
Yep.
Oh man, I love that. But they stopped him and like grabbed him and round him up. Like, this movie has to be watched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very in your face right away. The way they did the military aspect of it.
It's kind of a lot of parallels with what's kind of going on now too.
Yes, a lot of parallels, big time. And I think that's a lot of where my affinity for it comes from. Because it's just like, wow, like, did they just watch this movie and be like, okay, yeah, this is an instruction manual?
Well, that in 1984, but
don't they usually do things in movies to kind of like desensitize people of things that have actually happened?
Yeah, and Tom Hanks, pretty baby.
And you know that if they made a movie about this back in '73, then this has been something that, like, this wasn't a far-fetched idea, put it that way.
Right.
So yeah, this goes way back. But
that was the thing I was going to say. I don't remember in the original one, but I like that they made more of a point of it in 2010 when they just started shutting everything down. Like, the phones didn't work, nothing.
Yes.
Like, how quickly that could happen. Because that is, again, like you said, something that they could easily do.
Yes, they did that. I was very happy they actually did that in both movies. Yes, thank you, Tommy. Share the craziness of the stream and drop the bomb on the like button. Yeah, shutting down the comms so that people can't communicate. Wow. Like, yeah. And it was a little more subtly done in the second movie. I did like the way they did it in the second movie, because it was like there was no, like, they weren't telling the audience that was going to happen. They just we discovered it along with the actors.
Yeah, because throughout that movie, I want to say it's like it felt like you really didn't know what was kind of going on, and I appreciated that, because there's a certain type of storytelling that either you're gonna go balls to the walls. All right, here's everything, boom, 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 laid out, which they did in the '73 version, but and then you have the one that's gonna be, again, the pacing is gonna be different. The way that they're doing it, like, to me, I really, really enjoyed it. Because it's the type of storytelling that I like too. Because it's not just like the cinematography that was amazing, how they did all that, but it was like, oh shit, that just happened. What's going on? Like, you're trying to figure it out at first, and then as you already kind of know what's happening, then like, oh, well, then they're definitely gonna boom, and then right away it happens. It's like, all right, they shut that off, they shut this off, and how quickly, like, they just all, like, the military's there. There's something I did enjoy about that type of like I said, storytelling.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like both of these movies, absolutely. Like I said, I just kind of am drawn to the original. Just I've basically already said it. Just I like the science in it. I like how they really portray how things would go. Like, it's just really laid out, and I just really appreciate that. And let's talk more about the 2010 now. So this one opens a little differently. Instead of like the house on fire right away, it's what they think is a town drunk, but so they think the town drunk has wandered onto the field, and he's holding a gun at people, and so the sheriff is there, and he's like, "Put the gun down." This guy's not putting his gun down, so he ends up having to take him out, and yeah, like that weighed heavily on him, and so his body goes to the morgue, and you know, the what do you call it? Emmy says that, you know, they'll do a tox panel and everything like that on him. And then they show them at the funeral home, and he goes to walk up to the wife and son, and, you know, to apologize, and, you know, basically like just say he's sorry about what happened and everything, because I mean that's a tragedy. And she was like, what happened, what was he doing? And David the sheriff says, well, he was drunk. And she's like, he's been sober for 2 years, you know that. And yeah, so we don't really know at that point what's going on. We're thinking you know, he maybe lost his mind, or he was drunk, because we haven't had the tox panel come back yet.
Right. But like the thing that happened though, when it went down in the baseball field, he really just looked like he was completely out of it. He didn't even realize he had the shotgun in his hand until he said, "Please put the gun down." Then he looked down at it, and like you could see in his eyes everything. He just was not there.
Yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah, like his eyes were kind of glassed over.
Yeah, and that bothered the sheriff as well. It bothered David too, because he's like, what? That's why when he went back to the baseball field after the funeral and whatnot, he was like, "What the hell were you? What were you doing here? What, like, you know?" He just walked on like that out of nowhere in the middle of the day. So yeah, it was.
And that guy. So his wife ended up bringing him in. No, not that guy. I'm sorry.
No, it was
another guy. Was kind of acting weird. So his wife brought him in to the doctor, which is Judy in the new movie. See, Judy was a nurse in the first movie, in the original, and in this movie, Judy is married to David, and she's the town doctor. So she sees can't remember his name, but yeah, she sees the woman's husband, and he's saying like, he looks fine. I don't know.
The actress is
Bill
Lois.
Bill, yes.
From Superman or whatever. Man of Steel.
Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It looked like her, but it was not her.
It's not?
Oh, nope. Really? Because I thought it was too.
Yeah, it was Christy Lynn Smith. She played the wife to Bill. He did a great job.
Oh shit! I thought it was her.
Me too.
It looked a lot like her.
Yeah.
I know. I have a mutual friend who went to school with her and everything with Amy Adams, and that wasn't her.
Oh wow, cool.
The other girl though that has the boyfriend is Killer Frost though.
Yes,
from the Flash.
Danielle.
Hannah Baker.
Yep,
she's awesome.
She is.
She's really good with fans too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so later that night, so basically the doctor's like, I don't see anything wrong, but we'll do an MRI at some point. I can't remember when, but so they go home, and
but he repeated something that he said in the waiting room or whatever. I told my wife I'm fine or whatever. Yeah. And then she's sitting there, she asked him a completely different question, and then out of nowhere he says the same exact line.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, she's like looking at him funny, like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, she keeps saying he keeps saying, she keeps worried about me. I told her I'm fine, and that was good.
He was just sitting in the car though. At that, afterwards, like you see that Judy's talking to the wife about what they're going to do, what they should do with some of the, get them scanned and get other results or whatnot. He's just like, he's again catatonic, just in the car.
Yeah.
What's going on there? And then they show that guy's wife later in the day, like it's nighttime or whatever, and he was acting weird, and the son got all freaked out too, like what something's wrong with dad, and they had a barn that was like the lights were on from one of the machines, and she's like, "Where? What are you doing, Bill? What are you doing?" She went out there, and it was the huge machine that cuts all the wheat, and it's just those things are spinning, and like right away, I'm like, "Oh my god, is he going to turn that on?" And
Yeah,
for some reason, I thought that she got killed by that. I don't know why. And this is like the second time I've seen it. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, because it's that first time. It's like, oh my god, that's going to be a gruesome death if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be good."
Yeah, but she's not hearing a reply from, so she ended up going to the side of it, and he wasn't in the bed of the car of that machine. So she shuts it all down. Then she hears screaming from inside the house and yelling. So she runs back to the house, and she can't find where he went. And then the son like grabs her, and it was kind of like the same scene that happened with the two little kids in the original movie. Like like when the brother grabbed his sister, and was like, something's wrong with dad, And it was the son did that with the mother, and they went to go hide in the closet, and they had like the creepy shots of him going up the stairs, and he was aware that they were in there, and he locks the door. And they can't get out. And then he starts pouring gasoline all over the house, down the stairs, and he just sets the whole place on fire with them inside. So like I like that they kind of did the same scene from '73. They just kind of did it in a different way.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Way more disturbing because then.
Just want to real quick say hi to Adega Outlaw. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Doc.
Hey.
But yeah, I really like what they did with all that, because then, Judy and David, they get the call, so he gets down there. It's like there's been a fire, at Bill's place, whatever, his farm, and they get over there, and he's just whistling. He's just sitting like by the car, handcuffed, whatever, just whistling, and Judy, she flips out. She's like, when she found out that his wife and his son were that they died in there, and that they were found inside the closet, like she just starts losing it, and David has to hold her back, and he's just and Bill's not even saying anything. He's just like still whistling, like I don't care, like like no remorse whatsoever. It's like what the hell happened? That was like worse than a psychopath. And yeah, and then he stays like in La La Land there when he's in the jail cell. He's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. So yeah, I thought that was really good. That guy did a good job.
That was well done, and that was a deviation from the original, where in the original he's crying and he's like, "Oh my god, my trees are burning" and stuff like that. When he kind of he's cogent for a minute. And in the remake, he stays kind of like not there.
Yep.
So that was that was well done. I personally I like both. Either way was good with me. It made sense to keep him that way in the second movie, because he stays kind of like, I don't want to say he's bad, because he's not bad, he's sick. But he kind of stays in that mode where he's crazy. He's got that virus, and he doesn't like that doesn't let up. He stays that way. And so that works, because he ends up getting out. Now, I have a question, and I couldn't tell if he was the same person and I'm skipping ahead a bit, but when they get to that camp, the school is kind of like a camp.
They use the high school. Yeah.
Is he the one that had the pitchfork?
No, that was that pastor guy. I think his name was Ben.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had to ask because I couldn't tell if it was him. But I just want to say hi to Stig. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Stig. Yeah, it was I think he was the pastor. He was the one that was sitting on the bleachers when
Oh,
David went
right.
back. When
Yeah.
he was like the second one that like officially was getting super sick.
Yes, that's
Or
right.
the third. Yeah, he'd be the third then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
because
it was crazy to see that like he was the one that was doing that.
yeah, but we haven't gotten there yet. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to ask that before I forgot.
Right.
Um, yeah. Yeah. If you want, you keep going.
I'm trying to remember what the next scenes were. um, where did I leave off? Yeah, he's arrested. Um, and they get to these three hunters. They cut to them, but the whole time too, when these big events are happening, they show like a satellite looking down on the town.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something I thought was kind of neat because it's like that big brother thing, like always watching us.
Yes.
That's an aspect that is very true. But it's good that they had it in there. So yeah, then they show I think it was three of them. These hunter guys were like in the woods in the swamp area, and they stumble upon this parachute that's in the trees. And what the hell is this? And then they find the body that the pilot or whoever that was, and like they flip him over, and his face and everything was all decomposed, and they start like coughing up and getting all sick, and they call the cops there. So David gets down there, and him and his deputy, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and the guy who's kind of telling them what happened, that the hunters contacted him. They go, well, this guy's like a known liar anyway. He's probably he's looking for attention. He's been caught lying in the past, and so he's on the boat and he's being a dick, and he gives the sheriff a low blow because he tells him to shut the fuck up. He goes, "Oh, what? You're gonna shoot me like you shot Roy?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you dirty, dirty son of a bitch."
Yeah.
And he's like, I forgot the line he said after that, but he goes, "It's a plane." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You guys heard no crash, but they said that they think something landed here a while back or whatever, like a week prior."
Yeah.
And he's like they're looking for records, and there's not going to be any. He goes, "Why?" Because we're on top of the plane right now. And he goes,
Yes.
"What?" And they pull back, and you see the giant plane that it went completely submerged in the water. Like the wings were still intact and stuff, but it's just like it landed, boom, right in there.
Yeah.
And and David wants to shut off the water to the city.
Yeah. And the mayor says no.
Yeah, he goes to the mayor, and I like how they did that because he's right by his swimming pool. You can see it's like kind of desertish, like where he is. He's in this private, like new kind of complex is being built, and he's like, "No, we're not shutting off the water. What are you talking about? Because somebody said it. No, we ain't doing that." He goes, "It's farming season, and if there ain't no water, there ain't no crop, and our town's gonna go under. I ain't doing it." Like he's being a dick to them. So David just takes the initiative, and he's like, he went down to the to where the water pumps were, and he closed it himself. He goes, "If there's an issue, I'll deal with it myself. I don't care." And the deputies, he's kind of with them. When did he go to the funeral home?
That was right after. That was basically right after he shot. Oh man, I keep forgetting his name. The guy in the beginning.
Roy?
You mean when he returns to the funeral?
He sees the girl on the bike. There's something else happened because he's looking around.
Yeah, he notices that the town is basically dead. And then
empty, yeah.
And then he starts walking,
after.
and the unmarked
SUV
just peels off.
Yeah, it's taking photos of him.
Yep,
it's taking photos of the town, and they see him taking he looked at the woman on the bicycle who apparently was the little girl from the.
No, it was the long-haired lady that was with them.
The one that went mad.
Yeah, the one that went mad and got raped by her
father.
Her father.
Are you sure? I thought it was the little girl from that one. Okay. Well, that chick. he sees her on the bicycle, and he's looking at her, and the SUV's taking photos of all that, and then he notices it, and it peels out, and then he starts walking, and he hears something, and he goes to the funeral home, and he's looking for the guy who runs it, and he can't find him, and he goes to the back, and he hears like rattling, and he's, what the hell's that? He lifts up one of the sheets, and there's a guy there whose eyes are sewn shut and his mouth is sewn shut, but he's still alive. And he cuts the mouth open, and the guy goes, behind you. He turns around, and the dude is coming at him, the one who does like the embalming and shit on the bodies, and he's coming at him with like a weapon, and he knocks him in the head, and he falls on the floor. David falls on the floor, and then he grabs the saw, and he's about to like cut open David, and
he's about to be split from stem to stern.
Well, I thought that was afterwards. First, he was on top of him. He got away. Did he shoot him? I don't remember.
His deputy. Wait a minute.
Yeah, his deputy.
His deputy did
in and saving him.
Yeah.
Because the buzzsaw comes out of his hand, and then David's on the floor, and he's going all the way back, and it's coming right at his crotch.
Yeah.
And the deputy steps on the plug.
on the
wire.
Yeah, the wire.
And then he pulls the plug out.
Yeah, and shoots the Emmy or what?
Oh no, he uses before that he uses the cord to kill the medical
he
doctor.
wrapped it. That's right. He wrapped it around him and he pulled them. When he pulled them, he fell on the floor and the saw went into him, and there was blood all over the place. And then it got loose out of his hand when the body was still on the floor. That's right. And the deputy had saved David from turning to Elliot Page. Reverse Elliot Page. I don't know. What would the term be?
And did you notice when? So he let a little bit of time go by before he stepped on that cord. Did you notice that?
What was?
He let it get pretty close before he stepped on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's when he came into the room. Because you didn't see the deputy until that buzzsaw was coming right at.
No,
David.
you didn't see him, but he was there, and he let the little saw thing get pretty close to the sheriff.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Jewels. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the deputy starts to think that he might be coming down with it.
Yeah, well, in a little while he starts to think that, but I wonder if it started before that, like when he makes that wise ass joke in the boat. I wonder if he had already been exposed.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to remember if he got into the water at any point. The deputy. Because we know the hunters, they were in it, and later when you see them, like they were full blown crazy.
Well, even if he didn't go into wade into the water, it had gotten into the drinking supply.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we don't know how bad it was yet. Because what was the do you remember the exact scene of when the military do make their presence?
It was shortly after that, basically after that.
He checked the phones.
They're at
when he checked the phones, it was almost immediately after that.
It was they found out that was before the morgue. So they found out that all the comms weren't working, and then we see them at the morgue. And all that happened, and then Dave and his wife are at home, and he's like, "You have to go to your mom's for a few days and stuff." And she's like, "No, I'm the doctor." And he's like, "Well, if they need an antibiotic, I'll let you know."
Mm-hmm.
And but then she's looking at him like, and I thought she was just pissed at him. But then he's like, "What?" And she's like, "There's people outside." So he goes to investigate, and that's when they get scooped up. Into the school buses.
Right. Yeah, because they start testing them right away,
They're
and
checking their temperatures like
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, which
Yep,
was good.
and they're checking temperatures to see who's sick. And the thing is, we find out that Judy will have an elevated temperature because she's pregnant.
Mhm.
So they get separated because she has an elevated temperature, and they're not listening. No, she's pregnant.
Mhm.
And so they whisk her away on a gurney and end up sedating her with one of those masks, like when you go in for surgery, that what is that called? Why can't I
Oh,
remember?
anesthesia.
Anesthesia, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like something like that.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, my baby, and stuff like that. And it's no one, like, they don't even care.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're acting like machines, like just
Yeah.
monsters, straight up.
Yep.
And David gets knocked out again because he was trying to fight them a little bit. He's like, I'm the sheriff, whatever. Because when he wakes up, he's completely separated. It doesn't even know where the hell he was, and he ran into somebody else, one of the townspeople that he knows, and he's like, "Oh, they quarantine everybody, and they said that the more sick they are, that they kept them at the school." And he's like, "Well, where's your family? They took her too." And he's like, "We gotta go save them." And he's like, "No. This is our chance. We can start a new life or something. If something's really seriously wrong, because to have this kind of military and stuff in here, there is something, very, very dangerous." And he's like, "Listen, I'm going to go save my wife." He's like, he goes, "You don't question why I'm going back to save my wife, and I won't question why you're happy leaving yours behind."
Yeah.
I like that.
That was great.
That was some good writing in there.
Yes, that was very good.
Yeah, so David's kind of hell bent. He's gonna go try to get his wife out of there, and it's kind of like this kind of bus depot thing that they're around, and he sneaks his way out of there, and he went back to the station, right, to grab guns. Or was that later?
Let me think.
Because he meets up with the deputy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, that was it, right? Yeah, he went back because he saw like they started booting cars and shit, and so he had to go on foot, and he like he had his extra weapons and stuff, so he went to go get him, and the deputy was already there, and he was stocking up on stuff.
Yes.
And
yes.
He said he was going to go back and go and get his wife.
Yep.
And
meanwhile, Judy is in like this place on a gurney with all these other like sick people,
right? And one of her assistants.
Her assistant. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Danielle Pennebaker chick.
Yeah.
And things are not looking good. Because they said she had a fever and she's afraid that she has it. But as they're trying to talk or whatever,
don't forget before they get her, he gets her out or whatever. That guy that was sitting in the bleachers.
Oh yeah, we're about to get to that.
Yep.
Because as they're talking, they had to be quiet because somebody was coming, and you hear like the pitchfork and they're screeching, and everyone else had left because there was some town folks that they ran into the school area. They broke the barricades and they blew something up, and like everyone got the hell out of there. So the only people that were left in there were the ones who were straight up already losing their minds, all strapped to the gurneys, and the ones who had the fevers and they were all sick, and they were just left there pretty much to die.
Yes.
And the one dude, the one at the bleachers, I think it was the pastor. He got in there and he starts to just take pitchforks and he's stabbing people like straight through. They're already
it was Friday the 13th style.
Yes, it was like Jason's wet dream. It's like, real. They're already all strapped down. All I got to do is my job.
Hey, it was better than the first one with the Patcher like straight up killing himself with the setting himself on fire.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know that was a scene though. That whole thing with the church and they coming in, rounding up the people that are worshiping, and that like that's another. Thank you for reminding me about that. That's another part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this too much, too close to real life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So yeah, as that's happening, like they're trying to stay quiet, and he's getting close to Danielle Panabaker. Looks like she's the next one, and right before he's gonna come down on her with the pitchfork, you just start hearing screaming, and he stops, and it's Judy's trying to get his attention, and then
Mhm.
you can see she got the attention because he lowers the pitchfork, and he's dragging on the floor towards her, and she's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And she's flipping out like, what the hell am I gonna do? And yeah, he's about to stab Judy when gunshots happen, and yeah, David and the deputy, they're there, and they put down the pastor. They get the wife out, and the assistant, and the assistant's gonna, I think I'm sick. I'm probably sick, whatever. And they're trying to calm her down. And like, you're all right. Like you're with us. You're loose. You're not flipping out or anything. And they know they got to get the hell out of this town because now things are just too dangerous. And they start to find out that more of the area is locked down. They want to look for a vehicle, and they get like into the main street, and all their cars were booted, all of them. So as they're going through to find another one, you hear like a bunch of ruckus and stuff, and they hide behind a car, and you see they're the hunters who first found the pilot. They're basically inside of a diner or something, and they're finding whoever they could. They're hunting people. They're not hunting animals, and they're a pack they're kind of like together, you know. So David he shows the deputies like, look at the back of the pickup, and they're like, their bodies. They're bringing the bodies all in the back of the pickup, like it's like their game, and they're trying to stay hidden. And one guy gets loose, and he's running across the street towards David, the deputy, Judy, and the assistant, but he can't see them. They're hiding behind the car, and as they're getting closer, you see the blood flying on the car, and one of the hunters got him, and they came towards them, and they dragged his body away and then threw him in the back of the pickup. So as they peel away, they're trying to find out where can we go, what can we do, and they're going to cut through certain farms and stuff to get towards like one of the highways that back to their house. That's the thing. Yeah, they were going to go back to the house to get supplies, and then
he has a old police car too.
Right.
So they have the way to get out of the town.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have a game plan, and yeah, they make their way through one of the farms, and the farm that's
shorter distance.
Yeah, it's a shortcut basically. Because if they go the long way, they could definitely be caught by the military or those crazy people or the hunters. So yeah, they went through there, and the farm happened to be the farm of the boyfriend to the assistant. So Danielle Panabaker's boyfriend is on this property, and she starts running towards over there, trying to check on them or whatever. And the boyfriend, he because they were kind of looking around the property to see where the hell everything is, and he does pop up and he points the gun at three of them. The sheriff was still inside the barn because and it's weird too because the boyfriend he's like he's ready to shoot anything, and she's like, no, it's me. She's trying to tell him who she is, and he still has the gun on the deputy and the two women, and David comes out at an angle where he can't see him, and he's got the gun to his head, and he's like, lower your gun, son. And he does, and he's like, well, I had to be sure, And then the boyfriend and girlfriend, they embrace or whatever. We're okay, whatever. And the mother was still in the house, but David shuts them all up. He goes, be quiet. He hears something, and he goes, get back in the barn. And the military's there. So they're hiding in the barn, and the military busts down the door, and they take the mother out there. And it looks like they're ready to kill her. And the son just he runs out to save his mother, and they're trying to tell him, no, don't go. He runs out, and because he's coming at them fast or whatever, they put him down, and then they put the mother down too.
Yeah, she goes to check on her son and runs away and towards him, and they put her down, and then they flamethrower the shit out of him.
Yep. Yeah, they're just killing people indiscriminately.
Yeah, brutal. And they're trying to like hush up, not to be hurt at all, but the military people like, we got to check the rest of the grounds, and they sent one of them into the barn, and David and the deputy they get him. They knock the guy out. Well, they hit him in the head and they drag him to the back of the barn, and they take off his mask, and it's just like a kid. He's like maybe 19, 20, young guy, and he's like, whoa, whoa, oh no, I'm dead. What do you mean? They told me not to take my mask off, and he's like, what's going on here, son? He goes, we're just giving orders. You know, they told us we had to round up everybody. You know, this town's gone. Like, you know, he basically telling them like, yeah, like they have to kill her. He goes, we're not infected. We're fine.
Basically, we're like, we didn't even know where we were until we saw license plates.
Yeah, they were just dropped there and told what to do. And he's like, yeah, because we were told if they got a fever, we got to kill them or whatever. If they act weird and funny, he goes, we're fine. He goes, we're all fine here. He goes, my wife was mistakenly. They said they thought she was sick. She's not. She's pregnant, and she's very lucid. She's a doctor. I'm a sheriff. Like he's trying to like have some kind of humanity, connect with the kid to show him like we're real people here. Mm-hmm. And one of the other military guys is yelling at him like, you know, did you find anything in there? And they said, you tell them we're here. He goes, I will blow your head off, son.
And before that, he had his gas mask off, and he's like, we're supposed to keep these on, and he's like, am I gonna die without it on? And Judy said, did they tell you would die if you took your mask off? Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, they just told us we have to keep them on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then David was questioning him and trying to like find out what's going on, and he says, I don't know what's going on. All they told us was that there was a bad accident. Yeah.
So he says he was listening. He goes, if you let me go, I won't say anything. I won't let them know what you hear. He kind of makes the bribe, and the deputy is like, we got to kill him. We got to kill him. He's like, I am the chief of police here, and you are my deputy. You do what I say, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's trying to calm him down. Like the kid's like he's starting to get kind of like bloodlust. Like you kind of see it.
Yeah,
something's wrong.
He has to keep on like reminding him of the chain of command.
Right. And he's like, I'm with you. I'm with you. He's like, all right. But he does not want this kid to go free. But reluctantly, he lets him. And before he puts his mask on, he goes, listen, I'm real sorry about your town and everything. And, you know, like he's trying to say, you know, this ain't my fault. You know, like you can see the guilt all over the kid's face. Yeah. But he true to his word, he doesn't say anything. The military leaves like, no, it's clear here. He's like, good luck. I'm real sorry about your fucking town. And I thought that was good too, because there was a human connection there.
Yes. And I like when I love when he said, he was like, I'm not going to say anything. I didn't sign up to shoot unarmed civilians.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But see, again, good line. It made sense. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they leave, and they make the four of them. They make their way to David and Judy's house, and you know, and while consoling Danielle Panabaker, the tragedy and all that happened, because she's bawling as soon as she sees the bodies after the military left. Yeah. You know, the burnt remains there. So they make it to the house, and the deputy and Danielle, they're trying to, they got to put wheels on the car. You know, it's like in his garage up on cement blocks, and they just got to put the wheels on. So they're doing that while David and Judy are looking for supplies and stuff in the house. And Judy goes, because they have to leave their home, and they're like, you know, they're heartbroken about all this stuff, because this is our town. Like, you know, it's like we got to leave. You know, they're going to take us out. So as she gets all of her supplies and stuff, she walks past where the baby's room would be, and the crib's there, and she's looking at it, you know, like kind of like what could have been. And as she's there, you see behind the door the widow of Roy, the first guy who got shot on the baseball field, and she's all messed up. You see veins all over her face. Her eyes are all kind of, you know, glassed over as well. They come back to David, and he's like, Judy, you there, Judy? And he goes up the stairs, and he opens up the door, and she's tied to a chair.
Yeah.
and and you see the widow and the son are in the room, and they're talking how they basically want vengeance on David for what he had done, and like looks like she's about to kill Judy, and he starts yelling. He goes, "It was me. I killed that drunk piece of shit." Like he starts flipping out and like cursed to get her attention. You know, she directs more towards him,
Yep.
and I believe he hit her right because then the gun fell on the floor. And
Someone, I think it was either her or the son, can't remember which one, stuck his hand with a knife into the floor, and he ended up getting unstuck from the floor, but he still had the knife in his hand.
okay, it's when they hit him when he was trying. That's it. He tried to get Judy free from the chair. They hit him from behind. He drops his gun, and then I think it was the son who stabbed David in the hand. So he's pinned to the floor as he's yelling at them. You're right. Yeah. So
Mr. Pulp Noir says he's really enjoying the stream. I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh, good.
Glad you're enjoying it.
These movies were good, and again, it mirrors kind of in a weird way and in a more extreme way of what happened the last couple of years.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Yep.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Trust designs. So as David gets her attention, like they're coming towards him, like they're gonna blow his brains out, and there's a shot from outside. The deputy, he got a clear line, and he got the widow, and then behind him was the son. And I think then David, he got to his gun because I know this the son got blown away too.
Yeah, David killed the mom, and then the son was about to kill David, and through the window, Russell killed the son.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry, I saw it like a week and a half ago, and there's a lot of shit that happened this week for me. But
well, you're doing good with the memory.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying here because I love this movie and kind of like the whole way it plays out. The pacing was great on it.
Yes,
so,
it was.
Yeah, they get outside and they see David. He's like not David. I'm sorry, the deputy. He's all kind of sweaty and stuff too, and like you could see like he's worked up. He did just put the tires on the car by himself, pretty much. And like they're out there like they're kind of like something could be wrong. Like Judy's going, I'm starting to see signs.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like because he's ready like to go. Like he's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like he's ready. Like he's not gonna stop. He's not gonna smell the roses. Like we got something to do. We got to get out of here. We got to do. We got to do. But he's a little extra amped.
Yeah. Yeah, like antsy.
Yeah, antsy. That's the word I'm looking for. So they all get into the car. They get on the road, and as they're going, they're kind of passing by the town again, or a further part of the town, and they see like a Black Hawk helicopter flying over them. Like, what the hell is going on with this? So as they do that, like they tried to hide. They try to get off the road because like they're the only car that's out there pretty much, and they see that the helicopter circled back. So as it's circling, they pulled into a car wash, and as they're sitting there, they wanted to wait for the helicopter to pass by. They see movement in the car wash, and like what? Danielle Panabaker's flipping out. She's like, "They're in here. There are people in here." And the machine goes on, and it locks like the way the old school car washes are. It'll lock one side of the wheels, so it's the front like left tire and the back left tire. It gets put on that thing, and it starts moving like that conveyor belt, and it's going through. Like we got to get out of here, but the water and the soap are already hit. He's trying to peel out. He can't get out, and you see they start jumping on the car.
Yeah,
and they're getting attacked. The deputy opens up one of the windows. He's trying to shoot at them, and they're yelling at him, "Stop it! Roll the window back up, whatever." And like they crack through like the side of one of the windows. They're struggling. One of them almost gets in, and they pulled out Danielle Panabaker, as they're getting closer to the outside of it, they blow away the people out of there, but they think they're kind of safe. But yet Daniel Panabaker, she gets pulled completely back and out, and one of the cords of the machine, like it gets wrapped, and she gets hoisted up, and she's like hanging as they all jump out of the car. The car's still moving. It goes forward and off of the conveyor, and it's like going towards the street as they're trying to get her off. They're trying to get her off of the, unhung basically. The car did get washed, right?
Unhanged.
Unhanged. Oh my God, that scene was horrific.
That was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, it was so sad because it's like, you didn't want to see that, and they get her down, and the wife's crying and flipping out, and all of a sudden, boom, the Black Hawk shoots a missile and blows up the car.
Yep.
And the deputy starts laughing, like. He's like,
hey, at least they weren't in it. I think that's probably why he was laughing.
Right. Like, holy crap. We went back out to try to save her, and if we stayed in that car.
I'm like, they just washed the thing. What the heck?
Yeah, that was brutal. So they're like, what the? They're just killing everyone. The military's killing everybody. And we got to get off these roads and stuff. And as they're kind of making their way, they're out there like half a day or something on the road trying to get the hell out of there. They're walking miles and miles. They see one of these SUVs that's kind of pulled over and in a ditch, and they went to go check it out. As they're looking at one of the cars there, they see another one of those SUVs are coming up, and he goes, "We got to stop them." So David gets to the middle of the street. He's got his gun up, kind of Rick Grimes like, and the deputy goes, "Fuck that!" He grabs the spikes that they put across the road to take out the tires, and he has it in his arms. He closed it all up, and he's like, "Screw this!" He runs in front of David, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing?" He throws the spikes on the floor, and the SUV hits him and flips and spins, and it goes over on its side and crashes into the ditch. And he's yelling at the deputy, like, "What the hell did you just do? We needed that car." But they get in there, and the deputy goes straight to the SUV, and he's kind of going through it. The guy's still alive that's in there, and David's like, "I want to talk to him," and the deputy's ready to blow his brains out. He's like, "Stop! I need to talk to this man." So he puts the gun down, and the deputy, David's all in his grill, and he's like, "What the hell did you people do?" That's when they found out it's called Trixie. It got out. They were trying to bring it somewhere else, and the plane accidentally crashed.
He says that it's Trixie, and it's a bioweapon meant to destabilize a population.
Yep.
He says, in this case, the wrong one, and the plane was headed to Texas. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And Tommy says the Crazies paints a picture of sheep being easily led to the slaughter. Sounds like something we have seen before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's why the movie was so solid.
These movies are.
Oh, go ahead. These movies are.
I was just gonna say, these movies are so good.
They are. Well, again, like Romero, he's good at making you think about that type of stuff. Him, there's a couple of them out there that, whatever. But solid stuff. So as that military guy says that, he's like, "Yeah, it's meant to destabilize the population." Boom, he gets shot, killed, dead. Boom, and they turn around, and the deputy was like, he talked. And right away, he went right into the SUV, and he's going through papers, trying to see if they can find anything, water, whatever. And when he comes out, where he put his gun, his rifle, it's gone. And you see David and Judy, and David's got it around his shoulder. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's a heavy gun. I'll hold it for a while." And he's like, What are you doing? Give me my gun back." He's like, "It's all right. I'll hold the gun for a while." And he's like, "You think I'm going crazy?" Something. I didn't say that. Like, they're trying to talk very calmly to him because they know the guy's losing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they all started walking. What did he do? Because
Then he immediately pulled the gun on David, and Judy starts freaking out, and she's like, "No, no, no!" And Russell is saying,
oh, shut your wife up.
"Tell her
Right?
to shut up, or I'll
Yeah.
shoot." Yeah,
Mhm.
and Judy's flipping out, and David says, um, "Shut up, Judy," or something like
Yeah.
that,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, so basically he gets the gun back because he pulled the gun on David,
Mhm.
and the and he and before that, when so he says, "That's how many times I've saved your life now."
Oh yeah. He just says a number to him, like 3 or 4, and he
Yeah,
goes, and they're looking at him. He's like, "That's how many times? Yeah, I saved your life."
yeah,
And you're taking my good, you like conspiring against me, like he's getting paranoid. His mind's kind of going. So he tells him start walking, and he's got the gun, he's got his sidearm, and he's got the rifle, and he's pointing at the two of them as they're walking, and they keep going, and then out of nowhere you start hearing gunshots, and the deputy he just started shooting randomly. They turn around and look at him. He goes, "This thing's getting heavy." And then he eventually throws it on the floor and he pulls out his other gun and he tells them keep walking. So they keep going and then at one point David just goes, "I got to do something."
mm-hmm.
He's like, he's gonna slip, something's gonna happen, or he's just gonna shoot us. He goes, we we gotta have at least a fighting chance. So he
Yeah,
turns around and he just gets right up to him and you know he kind of tries to talk him down a bit. And as he's talking him down, then David just punches him in the face as he lowered the weapon and then he took it from him. And then it kind of role reversal, like you walk in front now, and David's
yeah.
back in control.
And
Essentially,
Russell, while he's on the ground and he's kind of discombobulated from David punching him in the face, he's like, I'm losing my head, aren't I?"
yeah,
And he's like, can I just walk with you guys for a while?"
right,
And they let him.
yeah. Because when he's on the floor too, like he reminisced about a fishing thing that happened like
Yeah,
a year prior.
the catfish. How big a catfish was that he
Yeah,
got?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you get See, that's what I like. They kind of did like the original a little bit. Like they get a little bit lucid again.
yeah,
It's a little bit like the body's having a tug of war with this virus.
yes,
Which is cool. So like they're kind of all walking together, and then they get to a point where there's another like military checkpoint at night, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's when like you could see like the deputies. He's with them again. Like he's not completely bonkers, but he goes, listen. He goes, I know I don't have long. He goes, I'll stop. I'll do something. I'll give you a chance.
Yeah,
Because like you're both still fine. You're not sick. She's pregnant. You might still have a future. Like, he sacrificed himself essentially.
yeah,
So he's got a gun with an empty clip essentially, and he has it in his back, and he kind of runs out there. Like David and Judy don't want him to do it, but like he kind of does it anyway. And he's like, "Fuck it." So like he grabs Judy, and they start going the other direction as the deputy's getting their attention, and he grabbed the shotgun from one of them, didn't he? Or was I wrong with that? I'm trying to remember exactly what happened.
the Beast. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Hey, man. Awesome to see
Blessings to you as well.
Absolutely. Aloha and blessings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so well, David basically he gets their attention, then he hides behind one of the cars because then they start shooting at him or they're trying to get him out of there. So he's yelling back at them, and he gets up. He goes, "Look, I'm unarmed," and he gets kind of like in the center, and there's like like a half circle around them, and
Yeah, yeah,
he puts his hand in his back to pull out that gun with the empty clip, and they start shooting at him.
yep.
And
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
Oh, so yeah, and David and Judy they hear the gunfire, and like, we got to keep going. You cut back to him; he's on the floor, and like he cursed back at them, and it's like, this is your fault. You did this. You killed innocent people. And did he pull a grenade?
No, they just They
They
just
just
killed him.
executed him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because I know there was another movie that had a similar moment.
And that is similar to the original. Remember when oh man, what was his name? The guy that went crazy in the
Yeah, his
original.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they did a similar thing so that
Mhm.
David and Judy could get away.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I liked how they kept that kind of consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job with that.
And yeah, and in the original it was sad because he was like, I'll meet you at the zebra club. And
Oh
like
yeah.
and like they all like you just knew like that was the end, you know.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But he did it so that Dave and Judy could get away, and yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah, and a good ending for the character too. Like he
Yeah.
was, like redeemed essentially. He didn't do anything bad yet, but it was gonna happen. But
Yeah.
he was redeemed in their eyes as well, and and thanks.
Yeah.
So Judy and David, they make it to the what was the bus station or
The gas station.
yeah the truck stop,
The
right?
truck stop, yeah.
Yeah. So they get there. They're at like this diner, and they're trying to figure out kind of what's going on too. And what was it? What was the conversation they had exactly? I'm trying to remember when they were sitting down by the window.
Well, Judy was basically like, this is all for naught, and we might as well just. She was blackpilling, and that's when David was like, "Well, what do you want? We're not going to just give up."
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so he goes around looking and stuff, and yeah.
Oh wait, I do remember what happened. They Judy she saw something, she went to go look, and David, because they were looking for some stuff too, supplies, keys, whatever, and she stumbles upon all the people that were supposed to be taken out of town. The one where when they got separated, that David and the one guy who was fine with leaving his wife and his family, they found that area and they killed them all and burned all their bodies.
Yeah,
And
they all in that truck.
Yeah, she found all that, and she's like, "Listen, what the hell are they gonna? They killed the entire town." That was the conversation they were having, and that we're done for, or whatever. And he's like, "No, we have a chance. They don't know we're here. We can make it to the next town over. We can get the hell out of here. What they did is evil. This is messed up." And as they're kind of talking and stuff, they're like, "All right, we need to grab what we could and get out of here." And Dave was looking for the keys for one of the trucks, and when he goes in there, like they're basically separated. She's getting some water by the diner, she's drinking or whatever, and as she's opening up a bottle, you see in the background, which is really cool and creepy, one of the hunters, he's just staring at her from like the hole in the diner, like where the cooks are.
Yeah.
And then like you see it, like she goes to grab a glass, and when they kind of pan the camera a little bit, then he's gone.
Yes, that was I loved that. That was well done.
That was eerie and great. I love that type of directing. But and then you see David, and he's kind of looking around too, and he notices the pickup truck of the hunters, and there's a ton of bodies, and there's like maybe double or triple the amount of bodies that were there originally when they saw them in the town. Yeah. So he's like, he's got to go find Judy and get out of there. But they cut back to Judy, and she's running and trying to hide. Yeah. And she gets to the freezer kind of area that has, it's not the freezer door, it's got like the plastic kind of curtain strips. And she went in there and she fell down, and the whole room is just covered in bodies.
Yeah. Just dead bodies stacked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the hunter's still he's looking for that. You could see there's just, at least 3 of them in there.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, they have some like kind of tense moments where it looks like the hunters have a conversation. You can't really hear what they're saying, and then the one guy who was staring at her, he kind of like he goes back towards them. he moves the curtains and he's looking around. She's kind of like hiding between the bodies on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't really tell where she is. And then he kind of like, it looks like he's walking away, and she had grabbed one of the kitchen knives or something, and she's like, she's getting ready to make a run for it. And then a hand grabs her from behind and pulls her back into the bodies, and it's David. And it's like, it's me. It's me. She starts like getting all flipping out. She's like, all right, I think I know, a truck we could grab. So they run to get inside this truck, and you can't find the keys anywhere. There was a body in there who falls on the floor. As in, they open up the cabin to the truck, and then all the lights start going out, and you're like, what the hell? And David, he jumps to go on top of the body that fell out because the keys were on the guy's waist with the string kind of pulley system thing, and he rips it off him as all the lights go out, and one of the hunters grabs him and knocks him underneath where the truck is, because the truck's up, like, when you check when they're removing and fixing the oil.
Yes.
Like, he's under there, and the guy's beating the shit out of him in there. One of the other hunters came from the other side of the truck cabin and is struggling with the wife. She stabbed him in the face, right?
She shot him in the head in the truck.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because all right. Well, the blood hit the windshield. I remember that. And then on the bottom, David, he's fighting like the big dude. He kicks the oil tray at him. The guy's covered in oil. David pulls out his lighter and he throws it on him, and he gets out from underneath there. And he hops into the cabin, and like, they get the hell out of there. They just, he rubs it up. But David did grab a walkie-talkie that he heard when he was looking for his wife, originally, but before he found her and they got to the truck cabin. So he has a walkie-talkie with him, and he's got like the military things on. And there's talks of like, they got a plane overhead. He's like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna drop something? Like, like, they know they got to get the hell out of there, and he's trying to drive as fast as he could, and they're doing a countdown. And the wife's looking through the back. She's like, "You see anything?" He's like, "She's like, no, I don't see anything." Because it sounded like, they did the countdown and nothing's there.
Yeah, they're like, what happens when they get to 0?
Right? There's like a 10-second delay or something. And all of a sudden, boom! The freaking sky lights up.
Yeah.
It's like a Christmas tree. Like, it looks like it's daytime. It's so bright.
It looked daylight. They nuked it.
Yeah, and then you see all of like the dust and debris and all the wind. It's all coming towards them, and like, it kind of knocks them a bit off the road. They're still they're okay, but like, the truck has had it, and when they get out, they just mushroom
back
cloud.
Back to walking.
So yeah, little girl and David, they're walking. But they make it to a field, and like, they can kind of see the next town over, and they got whatever they could scrounge up from what they grabbed inside the cabin of the truck, and they have like the I Love Iowa shirts on, and they're all beaten and bloody, and like they're holding hands, like, I think we made it. And then they pan back out, and you see the satellite that was watching them the whole time, and the whole town is zeroing in on them, and then it says the same thing. We got to contain this next town, like protocol,
initiate protocol.
Yeah, which is great, because then as the credits are rolling, they're literally showing like a news feed, and they're saying, "Oh, there was an accident that happened at the nuclear facility in blah 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 town, and in Iowa, whatnot." And, like, they make it look like, again, what the media does, it covers up the dirty things that the military had done. Like, I like how they did that.
And that's sort of parallel to the original as well, because do you remember in the original when they're talking about, well, how do we explain this? And they're like, well, we'll say it's radiation, that the plane that went down had a live nuke in it, so that way when we drop the bomb, that we can explain it, and it's less of an embarrassment than a virus that got out. And they're absolutely talking about like using the media and whatnot to lie to people.
Oh yeah. It was like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, we do it all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. A gas leak. There's a couple of different things. But I like how they did that. It made a lot of sense, and then it was good. I really like how they did these movies.
I like how they showed in the remake how how they drop the nuke, because, well, actually I like it both ways. In the first one, you just kind of are left thinking, okay, well, that town's gone, and
Yep.
they're like off to the next town, which is going to get the same treatment. And then in the remake, they basically lay it out for you that, yeah, that town's gone, and Cedar Rapids is going next.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
I both of these films are good. They really are. It's, yeah, I like them both.
Absolutely. The only like the aesthetic of the original I don't like is, like I said, that over and over that they were doing the drums, like the military drums, like
Yeah,
that.
whenever they would like show the military,
Oh,
you'd have
that was just that was monotony. I was driving like a drill in the brain.
like every time. Well, it was like they had to.
Jesus.
Well, they had to let you know that it was like okay, now we're talking about the military.
Yeah.
And
but that's the thing though too. Yeah, I get it, like the authority of the military and what they're doing. Like I get that, but then it was a little too hand fed.
It was. It really was. It was hand fed. But I just can't help but appreciate it, because it's like beating the drums of war. It's like right on the nose, and I just love it.
Yeah, again, like I definitely get the approach. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just there's certain ways they could have done it a little bit better there with that. But hey, you know what? I'm glad that Romero, like they jumped on it and they did this one, because again, I like the script. I love the pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really, really well done. And again, it kind of it sparks some of, like, I'm into that type of stuff too, like you said, science stuff. These mistakes that happen to people, and what they would do with this kind of bio warfare stuff. Like, those Resident Evil aspects that are kind of peppered in there. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yes, I would agree with that, Soul Assassin. They're
Absolutely.
definitely warning us not to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the original version, that it's absolutely like what's the word I'm thinking of? All I can think of right now is on the nose, but there's another word for it. But yeah, it's very on the nose. That, I mean, everything is spelled out. I just love it. I don't know. I just have a soft spot for the original, even though it's even with its faults, it's just great.
Yeah, I hear you.
And another thing that I liked, I wish in the remake that they spent a little more time on the virus part of it.
See, I kind of prefer that they didn't. I like that it was a little more mysterious, because we don't know exactly what it was going to do, how far it was going to, their reach was and all that. Because the way that, again, how it's paced, and then what ends up happening at the end, and that, Big Brother's still on them, and like it's almost like it wasn't really an accident that it was leaked.
Yeah.
Like it had that feel to it, and that's what I dug, because it's like, what we talked about earlier, it kind of parallels certain events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DeBee says he's native. He was born distrustful of the G-men. Nice.
Good for you, man. Being Italian, that's also I'm with you there.
So, yeah. What else?
The first one takes place in Pennsylvania too, so
yes, yep.
So it's it's in my neck of the woods.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. These movies are great. If you guys haven't seen them, I really recommend both. I mean, I've said it the whole entire stream that I love the original. It is a little hard to get through because was 1973, and it's a little bit, it's a little clunky, but I love it.
It's like Draven said though too. You could look at it like they are two different towns completely, and like the same event pretty much happened.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2010 could have absolutely been a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great movies. Both of them.
Absolutely.
Soul Assassin. But you can trust Trina and her spooky friends to keep bringing y'all good horror films every week. So hit the like.
That's right. Absolutely.
So yeah, you guys have Draven. Do you have anything you want to add?
Not that I can think of. I just like the. I think I prefer the remake just because I like Vinny was saying, I like the pacing. I wish the movie 65 would have done this type of pacing where like you're not quite sure what's going on or where they're at. Instead of just revealing everything like 65 does.
Oh no, is that how they did it?
Yeah, like you don't. It would have been better if the fact of the planet that they were on was like a mystery. Like,
is it worth watching?
They reveal it in the first like 5 minutes of the movie, if that.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Is it worth watching though, or is it bad?
It was boring to me. Like, if you want to watch it, fine, but it was a once and done for me.
Well, Draven, you tend to like remakes, don't you?
No, I like. I actually prefer My Bloody Valentine, the original, more.
Oh, okay. Okay. Respect.
Just because I don't know, it just was. I don't know, it was better. I just wish they would have got a sequel.
Yeah.
For the way it ended.
They should have definitely done it.
I know. I wish that happened as well. And
usually the originals are better for the most part. Not always, but for the most part, the original is usually better.
Yeah, that's a debate we could all have at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's Vinny, you're overruled. I think it's because
you're still upset that I liked Fright Night. I like both Fright Nights.
I like both Fright Nights too.
Oh,
thank you.
The original is better.
Okay, thank you.
But I still enjoy the second, or not the second one. The remake.
You know what's funny?
Because I like Tenet and the kid who played. What was it?
The one who died.
His name. Yeah, the one who passed away.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it's funny too because it's almost like Trina comes at me as if I said that the remake was better, and I never did. I said I enjoyed both of them, but the way whenever I bring
Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, now that's where I draw the line.
Now, see, that's where I'm okay with it.
Yeah, there's something I don't know. I know that it's either one way or the other. There's no middle ground with those movies, so I'm not even going to mention that shit. I know we have in the past, but
we did. We had that was a great conversation when we were talking about Freddy versus Jason. We got into all that stuff.
Yeah, that was funny stuff though.
Soul Assassin drops a link. This is very interesting. This is the Trixie virus explained.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, if you're interested in that, he's got the YouTube link up there.
Is it the fictional one or is it the real
one? Well, Trixie is a fictional virus.
Okay. Because I know there's something that's, I think it's a similar name.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait. I probably know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
Tommy says, I think the second one works better in the light as a sequel, honestly. Different town, different event. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. You can look at it both ways for sure. I mean, Draven and I, we said that too, and I think it does make perfect sense.
Yeah. The beast, nice.
Nudge, nudge.
Fictional wink, wink. Yes, absolutely.
It was monkeys and a pangolin.
But
don't forget the bat too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, the monkey had sex with the pangolin and the bat.
Oh man, yeah, the great movies. Yes, it's awesome review.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
I think we covered everything. Well, actually, one thing in the original I liked, I can't stop saying that, is is I like when they were talking about well, we did kind of cover it a bit, was when they were talking about dropping the bomb and how they were going back and forth about it and the secrecy around it and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also the way that they were talking about jamming the airways so that people couldn't communicate, so that they had control over all the communication. Like that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, we can't just wipe this town out. We have to explain it away somehow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Two very, very good movies by an awesome director.
For sure. And the other thing I was going to say, we talked about it slightly. The scientist in the original one, when he's flipping out at everybody, and then he finally thinks he's got the cure, and like he thinks he made the proper vaccine for it, and he goes to he wants to tell the other military people, and his assistant, she's like, well like, do you need help or whatever? Like, he could have given the info to her too, but he didn't, know, because he had that ego thing about him too, and that antsiness to let him know, I have it, we did it, I did it. And when he gets out there, he sees that some of the people had already started getting unruly, and they were causing problems, and the military people, like, they thought he was one of them. He's like, no, I'm a scientist, like, and he literally has the vials in his hands, and he's like, I think I have it. I think I have the. No, you have to listen to me. But the way he's yelling and snapping.
Yeah, and the way he's carrying the things, he looks like you're crazy.
Yeah,
he absolutely does.
I know. And but it's also awesome because it's like he's a bit of a crazy scientist. I mean, he did help develop this weapon.
Yeah.
So it really does fit with who he is in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he discovers, he's like, oh, look at these are smaller than the others or whatever. And I'm assuming that he isolated someone, like maybe someone with natural immunity. That it made the virus get smaller because it was fighting it. That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell the other doctor like what he was looking for or what he had found.
Right.
So it's like he could have had the cure and it's just gone now.
Yeah, because as they're all getting unruly and stuff, he gets caught up in the sea of people trying to run out of there, and they hit him over the head or knock him down. He falls down and he drops the vials down like 3 flights of stairs or so, 4 flights of stairs, and they just smash all over the floor, and you just see blood pouring out of his head.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, that's not good.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, because David does get caught and he gets brought in there as well, he's passing the other black scientist, who it looks like he's the one who's kind of going to like be the head of this now, and he's changing, getting ready to get on a helicopter and out of there. But as he passes David, he's like, I don't think we could ever find someone who's got antibodies for this, whatever. And in that movie, they allude that David could be immune from all of it. And he's just kind of like he just like, they pass each other. He's like shaking his head pretty much like, oh, I know this town's we're done for. We're screwed.
Yep.
Like he gave up, like David gave up. Because when they took out Judy, that was pretty much it. And it was, again, one of the townspeople that went nuts and started shooting at them.
And I've got to do some research, because I'm wondering if the way they end this movie is with a nuke. They're going to nuke the town, and I wonder if that was an inspiration to the Return of the Living Dead ending.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Tommy,
I kind of thought that too. If they connect all that, it would make
sense. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tommy is giving us some military info here. He says, he says, first he says that the military almost always makes the same mistake more than once. And then he says, case in point, the military making the same mistake, Battle of Hill 262, World War II, aka Mount Ormel, and Battle of Hill 937, Vietnam, aka Hamburger Hill. Yeah.
It's almost like they always got to keep doing protocol.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it doesn't work.
yeah, like NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
But
Funny how
yeah,
that works.
I know.
I'm gonna get all Alex Jones, but I shouldn't.
But yeah, awesome review. Yeah, I really like these movies. I'm gonna try and see if I can get them on DVD.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, you guys want to add anything else?
No,
I think I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Well, next week we'll be reviewing The Thing, 1982.
Hell
Yeah, it's last I checked it was free to watch on Tubi.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my
And Trina, I love that one far superior over the other one.
over
Just,
the oh yeah,
the other one
because
was more of a prequel. You got to say that. It wasn't a remake. It was more of a prequel.
I never
but
seen the prequel reboot thing or whatever.
It goes hand
was
in hand.
bad.
It does. It really does. But the original movie, oh my god, fantastic.
Now how about The Thing from Another World? Or is it Thing from
Never
Another
seen
Universe?
that either.
I haven't seen that.
That's the real prequel
Original.
to The Thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Are
They're
we,
both
are
on
we doing
Tubi.
Are we doing the 81 and the one with Elizabeth? What's her face?
Do you want to do both of them? Is that why you're asking me that?
No, I'm just straight up asking. Because they go hand in hand. That's why I was
Okay,
asking.
then if you guys are good with that, I'm fine with that.
Should be.
Draven and I will be reviewing the Saw franchise. We got to figure out when a good time for that is, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Draven and I will be talking about that, but that's probably a stream that's going to be just Draven and I, and Tommy will be like the gremlin running things in the back.
Yeah, I would have, but there's too much crazy stuff going on this month.
Dude.
Next month. So,
no.
Yeah, because that's too many movies for me in one shot.
Yeah, I totally get it. No worries. That it is a lot. But yeah, so next week join us here for The Thing, 1982, and the newer one. I can't remember what year it came out.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was definitely the 2000s, but I gotta look it up.
But yeah, we'll be doing.
It wasn't bad. I'll give them that. It wasn't bad.
I started to watch and I was like, but I'll give it another try.
Yeah, give it a go. I mean, again, because right where that leaves off, we go right into the 1980, 82?
82 for
The
Thing.
We go right into that one,
Okay.
So, and a lot of the events and things that you see in the 82 one, it makes sense for where they were, how it happened. Like, they really did connect it. There was no, I don't know why they called it The Thing as well. They shouldn't have. It should have been something else.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to give it another try because I kind of like bowed out pretty quickly. It just wasn't catching on with me. But I'm wondering if maybe it's more closely related to the it's a black and white. I think it's called The Thing from Another World.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if maybe it's closer to that. If it's
maybe.
I'm wondering. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, the Thing 1982 is definitely on Tubi. The newer one, I can't remember where that one is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was 2011.
Okay.
And it says Tubi as well.
Oh, okay. So they're both on Tubi. Excellent. That makes it easy. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along, we'll be doing that next week.
Wilford Brimley. I struck my wife. My wife died 27 years ago. Who the hell did I hit?
Okay. All
Sorry.
right.
That was
So,
from what do you call it? What's his face? Family Guy. Oh, by the way, I looks like I should be hosting the Tommy's Toy Stream tomorrow.
okay.
But Friday, I'm not doing a stream on Friday. There's an appointment I need to do. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I should. Yeah, Sunday should still be okay.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and you go first and tell everybody what you got going on then.
Yeah, check out Vinny Art over on YouTube. By the way, yeah, they demonetized me over there. I'll be able to appeal it at the end of the month. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to send me anything or they could help out in any way, or you just like the show and you want to support, you could definitely send me anything over on PayPal. It should be Vinny Tartamella. You can find me on there like that, or at Vinny Art. I appreciate anything you guys could give if you could. This month is kind of a very crazy month, and money's been very tight because of it. Streaming tomorrow around 8:30. Me and Tommy, we're going to be doing the collectible pass with 3 guineas, and then Sunday I should be back for the round table. But tonight we should be headed over to Draven's in a little while. So we'll throw it over to Draven.
All right. Speaking of the devil, there he is.
Yeah. So after here, I'll be over on ETEPS for Holy Shit News, and then which is already it's happening now. And then after that at 10:30, when that wraps up, we'll be watching tonight's episode of Dynamite.
Awesome.
So yeah, that'll be the festivities for the night. And thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was great to have you. I'm glad you could make it.
This
And
was
if you-
great fun.
It was very fun. And whoever goes over to ETEP's stream, can you please tell them it's a real horror raid? Otherwise, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you all in the chat. Anybody that watches on the replay, thank you all so much, and hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Have a great night.